We're going to rebuild the oil infrastructure, which will cost billions of dollars. It'll be paid for by the oil companies directly. They will be reimbursed for what they're doing, but that's going to be paid. And we're going to get the oil flowing the way it should be.
So President Trump there says that oil is going to be a big part of this takeover of the Venezuela taking over the U.S. They successfully captured President Maduro. President Trump is now going to set his sights here on the economic opportunity of that oil production in the country. According to OPEC, Venezuela is estimated to have over 300 billion barrels of oil in their reserves. That's accounting for about 17% of the total global supply. Joining me now is the host of the Charbon Report, Michael Charbon. Great to have you here, Michael. Canadians, they have a lot of oil, but so does Venezuela. How much can American companies set to make here with this oil in the oil industry? I mean, it's going to be flowing. We just heard how many barrels could potentially come from the reserves there. Should it be flowing again in Venezuela? And how did they neglect this industry and turn to cartels and drugs?
A very interesting question, John. I mean, when you make the Toronto Star, which is a liberal newspaper, that says Maduro is captured, you know that the thoughts are really thinking that we're hearkening back to Manuel Noriega, El Chapo, and Nicolas Maduro now on that list. Oil production is very important. We all know that we've taken a resurgence back to oil production because of the election of Donald Trump. And the world should be praising Donald Trump, and Americans should be proud of what he did. The Canadian Prime Minister, Mark Carney, talked about the 2018 illegitimate election of an authoritarian regime. And there are many Canadians that are celebrating both the Montreal, Toronto, and Winnipeg. And the more oil production that comes in the Western Hemisphere, the more that it complements both the United States and Canada in our supremacy. So I got to say, to the 30 million people of Venezuela, thank you to President Donald Trump, and there's better times ahead.
Yeah, and also, too, I mean, the Venezuelan people are going to benefit from this. I mean, if they get that oil industry going in Venezuela, there's going to be that new changeover of regime. Someone is going to eventually control Venezuela other than the U.S. This is going to be good for their economic impact, I would imagine.
Absolutely. I mean, my friend John Tobacco earlier in your segment, which has been really great, been watching this the whole morning. Everything that they're talking, the infrastructure in Venezuela needs to be rejuvenated. There's so many things. And there was some talk that many American companies were basically kicked out when the Maduro regime and his military came in. So to make a resurgence, therefore, the people are going to be brought out of poverty. I mean, one of the things that the people in Venezuela are not doing is celebrating outwardly, because the regime that was elected and appointed by Maduro, both the head of the military, the offices of legal, etc., all that are still under it. So there is cautious optimism. They're biding their time, but the oil is going to be an injection in the same way as the big, beautiful deal and the golden era is going to take place when everything that Donald Trump has put into favor is going to take place and lift the American economy. This is the right thing at the right time, and it shows other bad actors in the world when Donald Trump says something, he means it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, he's put a lot of these countries on notice. I mean, making reference to Cuba, that potentially there could be consequences for Cuba as well. But before we go, I mean, do you anticipate this is going to have an impact on Canadian oil as well? I mean, does the price drop for Canadian oil now that the U.S. is controlling Venezuela's oil?
Yes, that's going to be an unfortunate circumstance. The Canadian oil market is leveraged on a certain dollar value per barrel, and when more oil infiltrates the regime, or I should say the market, that's going to lower the oil prices. What's going to be interesting, though, is the Russia and the Iran and the China, who are the main purchasers of oil from Venezuela. It's going to be very interesting watching the United States make a deal with Russia and China to sell them oil through Venezuela. But I think overall, John, you're correct in that the overall oil prices will drop for a little bit. But I think what's being done by President Trump is showing that we're not fooling around anymore. If you're going to come to the table and be a narco-terrorist, we're going to come and get you. God bless Donald Trump and America for taking that step. There's no one else in the world that could have, other than the Israeli Mossad, who could have pulled that off.
Yeah, absolutely. Michael Charbon, always great to see you, my friend. Happy New Year to you. We appreciate you coming on.
Same to you, John. Thanks.
All right, we got another hour of Sunday Report. Starts right now.